Hello?
Oh, what's wrong, little guy?
Nobody wants to play with me.
Oh, don't worry, I'll play with you.
You will?
Prepare your soul. Seriously, every floodgate in the book. You only lost because you played meta, you fool.
Oh my god, playing you is like scratching my eyeballs out and then eating it myself.
I'm out of here.
Looking for no Eldlich, no Adamancipator, no meta, no Orcust, no Synchro, no Link, no XC.
Oh, I'll play. Hey guys, it's Tom Box, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a specific type of Yu-Gi-Oh player. You know, there are those who like to have fun, and winning is fun. Most of us fall in this category. And there are those who want to watch the world burn. Nothing satisfies them more than making the 40-minute round against them the most miserable 40 minutes of your life. And instilling the message that all you do in life will accomplish nothing. Okay, maybe that was a little dark, but like we're talking like straight anti-meta decks. And usually you'll find one at every locals. You can see them kind of sitting alone because no one really wants to play against them, because playing against them is like, makes you want to pull out all your hair. I just lost like 3 hairs there. And, or maybe that's just the smelly guy in your locals that you forgot to kick out. So what is straight anti-meta? I wouldn't consider Altergeist or Subterror under that category. They're control decks, just like Sky Striker. It's a control deck that kind of falls into the category within the meta. Straight anti-meta is a deck played based off of floodgates, shutting out all your opponent's options, not with any sort of real win con against them, aside from not letting them play and eventually maybe decking them out. Every option is on the table when it comes to anti-meta. Now the deck died off because big blowout cards started to be played in every single deck, so you can expect games 2 and 3 to be very hard, like evenly matched, Lightning Storm, Dark Ruler No More, even shutting off the main deck monsters is pretty bad. And then there's also like Imperm, which is just pretty good in general, just having some form of counter overall. But I saw in this meta, hey, we can actually bring this back from the dead. So I did, and this is my variant of anti-meta. Now I built it digitally because I didn't want to unleash this upon the world physically, or I just didn't really have the cards. This is my anti-meta 2020 build. I'll explain every single card and show you guys a couple of replays. I played against Adamancipators, I played against Eldlich, I even played against Dragma, which is name in our current meta, but it actually worked out against them quite funnily, and there does require a little bit of extra tuning if you want to play against them. There was Orcust, there was just a bunch of decks I played against, and it was really, really fun for me, and I think it was a good puzzle-solving challenge for them. Which floodgate do I take out first? Starting off with Artifact Lancia, this card is so important. Against Orcust, you should prevent them from activating stuff in their graveyard by shotgunning this card against them, or against, say, Adamancipators, you don't let them use Block Dragon. Against Eldlich, you probably want to use this, but mainly it's for you to protect yourself against evenly matching Cosmic Cyclones, since a lot of people main deck them now. Next we have Inspector Border. Just 2 because it kind of serves the same purpose as Mystic Mine, and Mystic Mine plus Border together, they don't really work together very well because you give yourself a monster, your opponent can put a monster, Mystic Mine blows itself up. So this is more or less to pair with Fire Prison. And as more with the Fire Prison, we have Fossil Dyna, shut them off from special summoning completely. This is a Vanity's Emptiness with legs. And then we have more Vanity's Emptiness with legs. We have a barrier statue of the Stormwinds. Why the Stormwind barrier statue over the other ones? Water, you got Mermail decks. Dark, you don't even need to talk about darks. There's just so many dark cards out there that can blow up cards like the Axis Code Talker and the like, and they can still special summon like crazy. Earth, you got Adamancipators, they're able to just jam their entire board onto the field. Fire, they can still get access to Nightmare Phoenix, which can run your monster over and pop your cards. Not very fun, so you want to keep them locked out. Light, there are also light monsters that are very powerful, and most of Eldlich are made up of light, so it doesn't do anything against them, so you need wind. Wind is the most ideal target for shutting people out. Then we have finally Banisher of Radiance. Triple Radiance because Macrocosmos is a very powerful thing, and Adamancipators don't want to put stuff in the graveyard because they don't get to Block Dragon later on, and Block Dragon doesn't want to be banished either. Eldlich don't want to put their stuff in the graveyard, and one of the key things against Eldlich is that the Eldlich Golden Boy effect in hand needs to send to grave for cost, and with this on the field, it protects you from doing so. And if you pair this with Fire Prison, they're going to have a very rough time trying to make anything, like any play. Now in terms of the draw engine, you need the most generic types of draw, so we're using only the pot cards. We have Pot of Desires, Pot of Extravagance. Why not 3 Desires, since 3 is more or less the same? The reason why is because if you go into Extravagance into Desires, you really can't do anything, but if you go into Extravagance into duality, you can still keep going and keep digging out of your deck. So this excavation can keep going. And I can actually deck out. I've locked myself out and decked myself out with this deck. So if you're not smart with the deck, you will kill yourself with this deck. So it's unfortunate, but you can definitely avoid that. Next, we have Moon Mirror Shield. Moon Mirror Shield is the best field spell. Once it came out, I just knew that it was going to be like a main deck staple to some of these anti-meta type decks, and it is. This plus Fossil Dyna can shut out most boards. And if they don't run Spell Trap based removal, they're basically done. And then we have Fire Prism. I like Fire Prism a bit more than Mystic Mine in this deck because it pairs well with my Fossil Dynas, my Inspector Border, because they cannot attack. Keeping my monsters alive is one of the key things, which is why we run stuff like Moon Mirror Shield to begin with. And Fossil Dyna plus this card means that they can't special summon and can't attack, and then that is a very, very strong lockout. And it's a field spell too, so you have to choose between your field spells carefully. Choose your battle. Mystic Mine is Mystic Mine. Only use it when the field is empty. It's bad against Eldlich, but great against an Adamancipator. It's okay-ish against Dragma, but it's also pretty good against Orcust as well. A little bit iffy against the Altergeist because they'll just shuffle all their monsters back in, so this is more of a delay. At the very least, it will delay a couple turns. And then we have Waking the Dragon. You don't have to play Waking the Dragon in the main deck. You can side it because not everyone blows up the back row or banishes it, but if you're playing against the meta, you're likely going to see it because once they see all those floodgates that you've played and they've cleared it, they are likely going to attempt to clear another card, and this is your trap. This is the trap that you want them to send away, and Waking the Dragon has done some major damage. My opponent used Twin Twister against me, and they're hitting both Waking the Dragon and my summon limit, and that actually allowed me to bring out my big monster. And half the time, you might be thinking, yeah, Fossil Dyna kind of counters this card. True, but most of the time people have actually turned off my Fossil Dyna only to go to a Phoenix to pop the back row, and then I brought out my Ultimate Falcon. So yeah, I don't know who made the misplay there. So then there's also Armory Call. Armory Call is just, oh, it's nice when you have a Fossil Dyna set, they just summon an attack and then they go into an Armory Call just so that they lose their monster. It's really good, and then they usually rage quit by that time because they kind of felt really behind. They lost the battle phase and they lost the monster that was supposed to take out the Fossil Dyna. And then there is Metaverse. Metaverse and Armory Call kind of serve a very similar purpose in this case. But in any ways, just choose the correct field spell, summon limit, now your other floodgates. Aside from your Mystic Mines, your Fire Prisons, you also got summon limit to really prevent them from comboing. It's really nice against Adamancipator. It's also pretty good against other decks too. There can be only ones good against Eldlich because everything's zombie, so they can't even summon the card out. And Dragma, most of their cards are spellcasters. They can't summon their stuff out. And then triple Solemn Judgment and 2 Dark Bribes to secure the board. But be careful about Dark Bribe. I kind of want to cut this to 1 because Pot of Extravagance does not allow you to Dark Bribe any further because they cannot draw cards. And that is the limitation that will lock you out. Into the extra deck, mainly targets for Waking the Dragon, but also just for you to dump into the graveyard because of Dragma Maximus. So we have Exterio, just in case you can summon out Exterio with Waking the Dragon. Mechaba, because you can summon out with Cyber Dragon Nova against anyone that's playing Maximus. Dump it into the graveyard, summon out Mechaba. Feels really good. And then, like, if they're going to be using Maximus and you want to pop their card, Entis is pretty ideal. You just, oh, you're using your effect? Well, I'm gonna pop your cards too. If you're gonna pop me, I'm gonna pop you. That's just how it goes. And for more Waking the Dragon, we have Beelzebub in case it's left over. We have Majestic Star Dragon because under the Barrier Statue of the Wind, I can only summon out wind monsters. So we got Stardust and Majestic Star. I don't really want to use Stardust. This is mainly for the Stardust Trap card, the one that protects your cards. I can't really remember the name off the top of my head, but you guys know which one I'm talking about. We have Ultimate Falcon, just in case I can go into Waking the Dragon, and it's a pretty annoying card to actually break. And since you can summon it to anywhere, not just the extra monster zone, it's a pretty safe card to actually put onto the field. Cyber Dragon Nova, this is to deal with Maximus, and Double Phoenix because I can pop some of their back row in case my cards get turned off. Finally, let's go into the side deck. You can change up however you want, playing triple Nibiru, the last Artifact Lancia, just 1 Ash Blossom. I don't really know where I fit this one. I could adjust it. DD Crow, because if you're not playing DD Crow, you're crazy right now. And Raigeki. Raigeki plus minus feels really good. Raigeki and Inspector Border feels also really good, so it's kind of an all-out stun sometimes. Cosmic Cyclones, because I want to banish stuff. and take out some of the Eldlich spells and traps. Just in case I actually need to take out my opponent's Floodgate against me, or like they have some sort of skill drain that I need to take care of. Then we have Called by the Grave to pair off with the DD Crow if I am going first. I'm not sure if I really want to play Imperm. The Imperm and Nash are just kind of filler right there, and I did want to play another Elm Recall in case I need to deal with more battling. And like depending on how much I value that Moon Mirror Shield, that's where this one kind of stands. Anyways, that's the deck. Let's see some replays. First game, we're going to be playing against Eldlich, and starting with Pot of Extravagance, getting the draw 2, going into the Barrier Statue, and setting 2 cards. We have 2 Floodgates. There can be only one, and Called by the Grave. This is an alternate build, so you might see some cards in and out that might differ. So starting with Evenly Matched, gets Lancia, and he pops with Golden Boy. Golden Boy gets summoned back from the grave, and he has a Counter Trap and Hakero. I'm going to continue to draw more cards. Either way, if he negates whatever I play, I'll still be able to get some draws out of this. So I'm going to go Inspector Border, and we're going to go into Moon Mirror Shield, whacking over that boy. He can't activate anything, but he could have probably negated some of the cards there. So now he has a Sanguine in the back. He's going to go ahead and try to activate it, summoning out the Golden Boy once again, but he doesn't exactly have his popper until just now. We banished the Elixir, so he can attempt to pop my cards. So yeah, he's going to attempt to do that. I'm not going to allow it, but he got rid of his own Golden Boy so that when he summons out the Conquistador, it doesn't pop anything, and Pot of Duality will continue to dig further. So I seeing that I added the Barrier Statue, he immediately activated his card to summon out the Hakero, but I instead summoned out Banisher to remove all of his cards, and now that we're seeing a situation where we're getting Eldlich top decking. Yeah, not the most funny, of course. He just rage quits right after that. Yeah, unfortunate loss right there. For our second match, we have another Eldlich, and for this game, start with a Pot of Extravagance. I got into a Banisher, and I'm playing triple Counter Trap with a Fire Prison on the very first turn. As for my opponent, he's playing a zombie variant of Eldlich, and he starts with his own Pot of Extravagance, digs into a Mizuki, another Pot of Extravagance, and he starts with the Black Awakening, which I negate because I don't want to deal with Golden Boar or Counter Traps, because that's going to burn off all of my resources very quickly. Slight misplay there, shouldn't have used the Solemn Judgment, because what's the point? Going into the Pot of Extravagance, we're going to banish a bunch more cards, drawing into a Fossil Dyna. This card is so crutch against that deck. Because what are they actually going to do against me if I have it? So I just stunned him out, and he can't really attack because I have Fire Prison. So even though he put a Uni-Zombie, it's not going to run over my Fossil Dyna. I'm absolutely okay with the situation. My other set card is a Stormy Mirror Force, which was one of my alternate builds at the time. He tries to evenly match me with a slow setup evenly match because he has field cards on the field, and I Dark Bribe it, so I don't have to lose everything I have. If that went through, I probably would have died. I get out of Moon Mirror Shield, now I can't really be destroyed by battle, so I need to turn off my own Fire Prison, or he can turn it off for me, which is quite silly. But anyways, continuing said, against anti-meta, you don't want to be in a situation where you're passing turn for turn, because they're just getting more and more counters against each card you have. And if you're starting to banish cards out of your hand because you want to prepare that evenly match, you gotta think about your options here. Gets into a Cosmic Cyclone, think about what you really want to banish here. But instead, he banishes Fire Prison to attack into something that was going to empty him out. But I think that was actually done on purpose so that evenly match would actually do a lot more damage. But I'm just going to go ahead, thanks to him getting rid of the Fire Prison, I'm going to attack to the point where he basically runs out of resources. He still has 2 cards, so I get to keep both the Floodgate of everything's getting banished, and I get to keep my Fossil Dyna. And in the end, he just surrenders because he can't really do anything. Looking at what he has in his hand, can't use it. That, he's only going to draw 1 card. He can't really do anything with this one. He can't special summon, and Cosmic Cyclone does nothing. His whole hand is dead, so he's accepted defeat at this point. Next, we have Adamancipator, and did I start? Yeah, I did start this one, and I started with a Barrier Statue. So starting off with the Barrier Statue from the Pot of Duality, set 2 cards past. He can't really do very much now, but he does have the Guardian. He attempts to swing with the Guardian. I activate Metaverse, and he's like, oh, you can do Mystic Mind me? No, I'm going to Fire Prison you, buddy. And now he's stuck with his Kwaki Mary Guardian. I don't activate any effects anyway, so I don't really care. So I said Awaken the Dragon, and I said a Solemn Judgment. He negates my effect. I'm like, no, I don't really want to die just yet. So I'm just going to pass turn, because I think he's just trying to go into an Appaloosa. It might be a slight misplay, since I am still protected. I did lose half my life points for that play. And Waking the Dragon's still there. I really want you to pop this, guys, so I can summon out my Majestic Star Dragon. I go into Raigeki. I get greedy. I did not use Raigeki right here, so then he flips over all his monsters. I was like, what are you going to do? Oh, there is a monster that I technically can't attack. There's an Appaloosa. So I lose my Barrier Statue, and I'm down 4,000 life points, which feels really, really bad. Unfortunately, he's Mystic Mind, and activate Mystic Mind, and the game is over. If we go into checking the deck, so he has Imperms, Dark Rulers, and 10 Ys, then Ethereum, and nothing to kill the Mystic Mine. So yeah, that was basically game over. Okay, this next deck we look at is a Jet Synchron deck, a deck dedicated to just spamming out Borreload Savage Dragon. I thought this was a very interesting replay because he goes in Jet Synchron into Parallax Seas, and starts out with a Flesia. I'm like, wow, he's really countering that Nibiru. So, okay, he starts off with the Auroradon, Despot combos, tributes out their monster, summon out the O-Line to Borreload Savage, dumps onto itself the Auroradon, giving him a full negate. I don't know why he didn't just kill me at this point, because my back row is made up of a Storming Mirror Force and a Save Zone. Doesn't really do very much with that save zone, but okay, Fire Prison did not negate it, strangely enough. I guess he didn't read the card. Again, read your cards, guys, because it will cost you a game if you don't do it. You can't attack, so now he's under this weird situation where he can't really do anything, and I don't really want to put anything on the board. So he's going to continue to make his combo, making a second Auroradon, and Auroradon is actually really good, because Auroradon can technically pop the card by tributing one card, which I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be painful. Storming Mirror Force 1, negate, Storming Mirror Force number 2, because he got rid of his own Herald, and there goes his big beat sticks. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's going to go into Jet Synchron into a Cyber's Quantum Dragon. I'm like, sure. Here's my Mystic Mine, and I'm just going to sit on this while you have monsters on the field. You can't attack anyway, so we're going to go from one field spell to the next, and this is my field spell control. So now I'm going to summon out Grand Mole. This was one of my older builds, and I'm going to put a Moon Mirror Shield on it, and I'm going to attack over since he negated it with Imperm. I'm like, okay, well, I still have a monster. I'm more worried that he's going to downsize his monster and put basically get rid of my Mystic Mine using that method, and I'm going to summon out a Barrier Statue. I'm going to swing into his Borreload Savage Dragon, activating the effect, forcing him to negate it, and the Moon Mirror Shield is going to run it over. So it didn't matter if he negated it or not. Maybe you should just let it bounce. And now I'm going to put a safe zone on my Barrier Statue, making it very hard to kill. He drew into a Rakeki, which was like super clutch for me because I still shut him out. He's still stuck, and he can't really do very much. O-Line can actually summon a token, because Barrier Statue of the Wind is technically not blocking him from summoning out the Wind token. I use Pot of Desires, drawing 2 cards, now have an Inspector Border and a Dark Bribe set. Again, we go into the situation where you don't want to be in, where you're drawing cards and passing turn against the anti-meta deck. This is one of the red flags where you probably should scoop the game, or else you're going to burn a lot of time. Not much he can do now, even with his Gravedigger Trap Hole, it doesn't really matter. And gets hit by Moon Mirror Shield, and he takes a swing from Inspector Border. Now see, you know, pat punch. See, we're in a system. Another counter trap, another Barrier Statue. We're just gonna swing over him, and we have exactly a game right here. And he's been taken out with Barrier Statues and Inspector Border. So even though he went through multiple Borreload Savage, he definitely could not deal with the Floodgates Alchemy. I think the first misplay was his inability to OTK me on the very first turn, which he definitely could have done. So this next matchup is against Orcust. Orcust is actually going to be going first this time, and he's going to start with a Tsuchinoko, summon out Girzu. I don't know why he just didn't start with the Girzu play instead and just do some Lib shenanigans. But instead, he is setting up his combo using Orchestra Return, draws a couple of cards, and finishes off with a Gears. I don't know if this feels a little weak to me. I think you could have went to an IP Masquerena. Now, I start with the Pot of Extravagance. I have everything. There can be only one Waking the Dragon, Dark Bribe, and a set Fossil Dyne. I'm like, this isn't exactly the strongest suit for me, but I did get to use a There Can Be Only One to shut out most of the monsters, so I don't have to take that much damage. He gets to protect himself from the Fossil Dyna. I have Pot of Extravagance. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Banish a bunch of cards. Hopefully I didn't lose all my targets, and I'll play a Pot of Duality to dig into a Mystic Mine. I need to survive with the Mystic Mine for now, because his back row is only Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is still actually pretty good against my deck, because I do put out a bunch of monsters into the graveyard, where my Fossil Dyna, if he banishes the Called by the Grave, could just turn off my Fossil Dyna on the field. So I have Waking the Dragon, Dark Bribe, and Solemn Judgment. I really want him to actually pop my Waking the Dragon so I can actually summon up some pretty badass monsters, but not today, my friend. We're just drawing cards, and again, this is the situation you don't want to be in. Just drawing cards, and drawing cards. Now I'm going to go into my Fossil Dyna, and I'm going to equip it. And I'm going to keep punching him because now I am stronger than you, and with the same amount of monsters, I shut off my own Mystic Mine. And here he goes. Oh, that was a funny play. I'm going to pause it right here. He used Cosmic Cyclone to target my Waking the Dragon. I used Dark Bribe against it because I have a Fossil Dyna on the field, and I don't want this to kind of fizzle, making him think this is a super high priority card that I am keeping on the field, which I'm okay with. Checking my extra deck, I have only targets for Waking the Dragon left. okay, and I also have a Solemn Judgment, just for a little bit of extra control. I think that Cosmic Cyclone probably could have went into the Moon Mirror Shield, and that's just my guess right now, because that would have been enough to actually run me over, and I'd have nothing to protect it. Anyways, continuing the duel now. Now we go to Babel, and nothing too much. He has Lib. Lib has the correct cards in the graveyard to summon out and get the effects, and sending my Waking the Dragon into the graveyard using his Ningears effect. Now I got myself the Ultimate Falcon. See, that 200 IQ play right there, fully executed. Now I have that. I'm gonna Solemn Judgment this monster. He thought I had nothing. I'm like, no man, you're gonna sit on nothing left. So with the Ultimate Falcon at hand, I'm just gonna keep playing. And even though I am negated for the turn, I'm okay with that. Okay, well, what are you gonna do with the gears here? Okay, send that there can be only one. That doesn't stop me from keep on punching you, and you still left a Fossil Dyna on the field. Now you're locked out of Special Summoning once again, and there can be only ones back. And everything's gone. Alright, problem solved. And to finish the replays, I'm going to showcase, well, the matchup versus Altergeist. Since Altergeist is a control-based deck, it's a little bit harder for me. What did he set just now? A Protocol, Solemn Strike, Spoofing, Manifestation. This person has everything available, and they went first. They're setting up their entire board, and what am I going to do? I'm going to use Pod Desires. You don't really have any form of negation, and Mystic Might. The guy's like, ... Like, that was the conversation right there. It's like, oh, it's such a grind, buddy. What the hell? Now I'm using Pot of Extravagance. Just setting up. I actually set the card while Mystic Might is on the field. I did it on purpose. And I think he realized he's just going to shuffle everything back and set everything up. I flipped over my Fossil Dyna, attempting to blow up the two cards. That didn't work so well, Solemn Strike kind of negated that. I have a Dark Bribe, Solemn Judgment, Metaverse, and a Summon Limit. Summon Limit's okay. It's not really the most ideal card against Altergeist, and he is really just stalling until he can actually get the out. I just put the monster out anyway since it's going to turn off by next turn, and I put a Barrier Statue with the Winds. He decides to impermanent. I'm going to Dark Bribe that. Here, draw a card. I don't really care. And I'm going to use Metaverse to put up my Fire Prison to turn you off from attacking my monster. That's why I shuffle from one field spell to the next, and this is the type of play that you need to do. Now I set Awaken the Dragon, and I put an Inspector Board on the field. I'm like, please, just send this card to the graveyard. But he goes ahead and scoops it up right now because he has nothing to do with the Fire Prison. Let's dig into their deck and see what kind of outs he could have had against a Solemn Judgment, Summon Limit, and Awaken the Dragon, Fire Prison. Looking into their deck, if I have a Fire Prison up, what can you actually do? You have Wind Witches in here, which is kind of, I didn't even know you had that. Okay, Titanicider, that's the new trap. They have Snowbell. They have Heavy Storm Duster, but they have to deal with a Solemn Judgment for that. Another Heavy Storm Duster. Super Poly does nothing against me. Oh, they have Imperial Order. I guess they just gave up. Skill Drain's really good too. I don't know why you didn't bother. What's going on? Nibiru does nothing. They have a handful of cards that can't do anything, and I think they were a little bit too locked out from using their own monsters. Yikes. Okay, well, I think Altergeist probably had a fighting chance, but I think they just missed it. And that is all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed my Anti-Meta 2020 video, kind of learn about how to deal with every aspect of the meta, build an anti-meta deck of your own, well, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, maybe more matches, well, hit that subscribe button and ding the notification bell. Got more ruling stuff to talk about, and there's other fun stuff like what's my collection looking like. I'm trying to set that one up. Just requires a lot more setup, and it's not an easy thing to film, so hit subscribe, ding notification bell to stay updated for that. And I think Nishi got another video for tomorrow, so I will see you guys in the next one.